Contemporary Malayalam cinema has truly came of age. It is evident when we see how Mollywood throws its lights on the deconstruction of cliches and propelling debates on progress and political correctness. Through bold thematic explorations, pushing the boundaries of conventional cinema, our filmmakers redefined the existing definitions of cinematic experience, declaring their creative dominance. We believe Mollywood is in a phase of transition, the beginning of something great.
ആടങ്ങടേക്ക നീ കുറെ ലോകം കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും, പക്ഷേ അടുത്ത് നിന്ന് കാണണ്ടോ നീ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല.
The Great Indian Kitchen is absolutely a brilliant progeny of modern Mollywood. Hats off to director Geo Baby and the entire team for making this exceptional piece of art and presenting the real in the real, and how the movie mocks at our narrow minds that's still reluctant to change. It is a type slap on the face of many who believe tradition should be followed.
What is the definition of a family? Family is a durable association of husband and wife.
The movie has no story in it because it shows the life as it is. The narrative gets more intense and designed to disturb its audience by placing the third eye into our kitchen, where we meet a woman who is expected to be an ideal wife, the victim of an unpaid domestic labor, and she represents many women we know, still living in chains. A brilliant script and the execution of the same is the backbone of this wonderful domestic drama. One of the main attractions of the movie is of course an appropriate cast. Nimisha submits fully herself to the role she plays. She is so immersed in her character, she makes the transition from a mute submissive wife to her self-awareness is completely believable. Suraj, as always, did justice to his role. Even his minute expressions and movements manages to remind us a typical misogynist. The rest of the cast also made their presence memorable, especially the character who plays the father-in-law deserves an applaud. The movie succeeds in conveying its politics without any over-exaggeration. The movie doesn't have much progressive dialogues and action, but it yet captures our attention and makes us uncomfortable about our own milieu and compels us to introspect about our own complicity in patriarchy. We believe no other movies of Malayalam cinema has explored the inner world and realities of the kitchen as this movie has done. The kitchen routines are exquisite and detailed in every shot. After watching The Great Indian Kitchen, we're reminded of an essay by Roland Barthes named Toys, from his collection of essays titled The Mythologies. In his essay, he talks about how toys affects our children's mind until they become young adults. These toys are diminutive forms of the adult world. These toys are frequently assigned to children to imagine who they will be when they grow up. This results in the child's acceptance of social environment without any question or objection. The author believes that enforcing these concepts of the adult world on a child corrupts the child's mind and create an attitude that they have to fit into this social setup and cannot have an individualistic approach or ability. Barthes uses the doll and kitchen tool toys as an example of enforcing social stereotypes. This is meant to be prepare the little girl for the casualty of housekeeping, to condition her to her future role as a mother and wife. On the contrary, our boy child gets a gun, a weapon, or a building blocks as he is a hero, a man superior to everything and everyone. Coming back to The Great Indian Kitchen, the director manages to present these conditioning in several scenes. That is, how the boy child gets the privilege to dine with his adults when his sister is helping his mother in the household duties. Well, the movie has a strong condensed script questioning how the Great Indian Kitchen is still bustling with our women. We might wonder why these leading characters are never given any names. Because they represent us. It could be you and me. The movie goes beyond the stereotyping of women. During the second half, the camera addresses on many contemporary conflicts without spilling them out. The newly married woman, who is someone from the modern age, trapped in an Orthodox Hindu family, when she constantly tries to get used with the ways of the system, she becomes more tired and frustrated. Her frustrations are not belongs to her only, but she represents every woman who are chained in the four walls inside, living with buried dreams. The most beautiful and haunting visuals of the movie are take place in kitchen, showing how patriarchy enslaves women. The scenes are cut back and forth from kitchen to bedroom. When she asks boldly about the foreplay, it shocks her husband. Her need for a job is also neglected by her father-in-law, with the statement that an ideal woman is the one who sits home and takes care of her family, no matter how educated or capable she is. The movie ends with the declaration of freedom, when the heroine dares to step out from the invisible prison, locking her husband and his father in the kitchen. When she moves forward, we see many women engaged in different household works, when their men are clutching on newspapers or scrolling through their phones. Well, it's a familiar sight in our world. The major themes discussed in the movie includes the identity, the domestic labor, gender and disharmony, and finally, self-discovery. The kitchen itself becomes a symbol of margin, where a woman must be a part of, where the endless duties and slicing sounds are identifiable and relatable to many women. The ironic title, The Great Indian Kitchen, is actually mocking at the great Indian culture. There are many close-up shots in the movie exposing the hands of many women as they were washing, sweeping, mopping, etc. Those beautiful hands with the golden bangles symbolizes the invisible ties that tightly holding her from her dreams. The movie also takes head on the regressive notion of impurity associated with menstruation. During the periods, the women are not allowed to step out from the room or touch things. This so-called impurity of a woman is cunningly portrayed in the movie for revealing how the intrinsic misogyny is sanctioned by the religion and tradition. The leading female character in the movie never given a name. She stands for many women, meant to be a submissive wife, daughter, or mother. The leading male character also represents a flag bearer of patriarchy, someone who enjoys the privilege it gives. The leading female figure in the movie is someone who is really passionate about dancing. When the movie begins, we see the bride practicing dance, but when she gets married, her joys and smile fade away. She also denied of applying a job as a dance teacher. Eventually, when the movie ends with the return of her joys, the dance becomes her self-expression and an act of resistance or an act of rebellion. The Great Indian Kitchen is an eye-opener. It's a movie that you should watch with the rest of your family because it is not a mere fiction, it is a reality. The song written by Mridula Devi is also adding more colors to the film. Overall, the movie demands a generous mind to understand what it tried to convey. It's an exceptional piece of art.